something else that didn't land. Arcade Fire's new album, Everything Now. Did you get a chance to listen?
Hell no.
Have you listened to any of Arcade Fire's work?
I know that their third album won Album of the Year, 2011 Grammys, but did I listen to it? I did not.
So
it's like folk rock, or indie rock. Sorry, it's not really my style anyway, so I've never really stuck it out. But Win Butler, he wins Celebrity All-Star Game MVPs at All-Star Weekend, so I know that.
He's on that Jason Bay flow, man. So it's interesting. Arcade Fire, they're a really interesting band because they seem to have kind of risen to fame pretty quickly. Like they came out with Funeral back in, what was it, 2004? And that was an album that caught people's attention. But then when The Suburbs came out, and then they followed up with Reflector, which those two albums they have like a similar through line in sound, but Reflector was a much more large, grandiose type of album.
James Murphy influence, right? Very dancey.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you heard their singles, Everything Now. I forgot what the second one was, but they sounded somewhat similar. Like they were incorporating more like ABBA disco sound to make it dancey. So I actually had pretty high hopes for this album going in. I was like, Arcade Fire, they're a good band. They usually have good producers working with them. This album felt very flat. It's really interesting because the name of the album is Everything Now, and I felt like they were trying to do way too much on this album. Not only were some of the content of the songs just like very strange and seemed kind of like off for what the rest of the message was, because a lot of it was about like a commentary on like connection, about how like the media and society influences things, but then also how like suicide plays into this in some way, how it affects your mood. But then they had this song called like Peter Pan right in the middle, which is about like not wanting to grow up and not wanting to die, and it's just very lame. And there's like no feeling behind it for something that's supposed to like Everything Now, that song alone I think is a very fun song, but the rest of the album, I guess other than maybe like Creature of Comfort, felt really short. Is really disappointing. Although I might have found a new intro song for us.
Oh, well, we'll stay tuned for that on our podcast services on iTunes.
It's a song, just to spoil it real quick, it's called Infinite Content, which I thought would be a good description of pretty much what we're doing every week on this podcast, giving our listeners infinite content. If you want our infinite content. Oh, stay plug-in. He knew where I was going with it. So if you don't have to listen to this Arcade Fire song or album, don't check it out.